Experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here. Based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025, Ookla trademarks used under on our network. Customer streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 and monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
When he got down on one knee, I saw the ring, but I felt the story.
I wanted a diamond that meant more. Not just beautiful, but responsible. Something with a real story behind it.
And it had one. A natural diamond from Africa, sourced responsibly, traced transparently.
It helped build a school in Botswana. It gave a scholarship to someone's daughter, opening doors to an education that changed her life in a future she never thought possible.
Now it's on my hand. But it's so much more than a ring. It's love, legacy, and a connection to something good we'll never forget. That's why we went to J.R. Dunn.
Because some diamonds just shine.
But this one?
It built something.
It changed someone's life.
It became a part of our story.
And that
hits different.
J.R. Dunn Jewelers, family owned and operated since 1969.
J.R. Dunn.
Come find the diamond that tells your story and build someone else's too.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Phil from Def Leppard, describing how the band picks their touring set lists.
We can do whatever we want. The only reason we stick to that formula is because we don't want to upset fans. When we play on tour, you want to go down better. You want to have a better reaction. So you certainly want to balance it. You know, we have to find spaces for these new songs. We'll bring some in. If they don't work after a certain while, we'll can them and just put something else in. So you do have to be mindful of the people coming to the show. It's a delicate balance, but it's something where you have to please your fans in that respect.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from your favorite artists.
Number one on your car radio preset and the new and improved iHeartRadio app. WINCA in Miami. WMIB-FM HD2 Fort Lauderdale. Free never sounded so good.
1-1. He might have hit one out of the ballpark there. Out to right and deep. Second deck. He squared the bunt 2 pitches ago. And Kyle Stowers rips number 16 into the seats. Tied at 1, bottom 2.
Miami Marlins baseball is on deck.
Pitch to Connor Norby. He drills out to right center and deep. Frelick back. Track wall. It is gone. Connor Norby. He's getting right. 1-1 pitch. That one hammered out to left center field and deep. Martian Rojas back. They're looking up, and it's gone. Wag attack. A 2-run homer.
Marlins on deck. Brought to you by ADT, the official smart security partner of the Miami Marlins and Norwegian Cruise Line. Experience more at sea. Let's head out to the ballpark. Here's your host, Steven Strong.
All right, nice job, Ahmed. Welcome. We're live from Camden Yards here in Baltimore, Maryland. The Charm City on a humid 82-degree, what looks like overcast Sunday afternoon. The tarp is on the field. We shall see what time we play baseball today. We are still set for 1:35. You're listening to Miami Marlins baseball on the radio, Fox Sports 940 Miami, game 95 of 162. Today will conclude, believe it or not, the first half of the 2025 season as we pause for a couple of days to enjoy the Midsummer Classic in Atlanta, where Kyle Stowers will represent your Miami Marlins, and Marlins manager Clayton McCullough will serve as a member of the National League coaching staff. Yesterday, it was a feel-good win in the afternoon to terminate a 3-game skid, an old-school pitching duel that was broken in the 7th inning when Derek Hill knocked in an RBI single. Miami played another run in the 8th and then exploded in the 9th for 4 runs to shut out the Baltimore Orioles 6-0. We are pumped to bring you Game 3 rubber match in the series finale, final game of this road trip for the Marlins between the 43-51 Baltimore Orioles and your now 43-51 Miami Marlins. Jerry Perez, he will get the ball this afternoon in the rubber match. He'll go opposite Brandon Young, 26-year-old right-hander, who will make his 6th start of the season. It's Young's 4th one since coming off the IL with right shoulder discomfort. Again, we get going, hopefully, prayers up, at 1:35 right here on the Marlins Radio Network. Well, hi, everyone. Thanks for making Marlins on Deck a part of your Sunday afternoon. It's great to have you aboard with Jack McMullen and Craig Minervini. I'm Steven Strom. Really looking forward to this show this afternoon. However long we go here on Marlins on Deck, we've got a lot to cover. We'll get the best sounds from yesterday's 6-0 shutout win. There was some great nuggets from last night. We also will unveil the top 5 moments, according to me, of the first half. We'll relive some of, honestly, unforgettable moments in this 2025 season. We still got another half to go, but there's been so many exciting, entertaining, and emotional moments that have really led to big-time wins for the Miami Marlins. So we will talk about that in segment 2. We'll get you the count with Perez and Young. Plus, we got a roster update for you. Graham Pauley is here. He was recalled from AAA Jacksonville. Infielder Connor Norby placed on the 10-day IL, but he was retro to July 12th, which was yesterday. So we should see Connor hopefully in a couple days after the All-Star break when we start on Friday against Kansas City. Jack and Craig will jump in. We got first half awards to hand out, our X-Bowl question of today at Marlins Radio, and Steve's guarantee to victory. So I kind of mentioned it in the open. There was some awesome sounds from yesterday's 6-0 win. Got to start with Jansen Junk, who went 7 innings for the first time in his career. Just the second pitcher to do so for the Marlins. Edward Cabrera did it twice. But when you talk about what the Marlins needed, what they craved, they needed a great start from their starter. When you lose 3 in a row, you look around and you say, okay, who's going to step up? It was Jansen Junk. And in the 7th inning, Clayton McCullough got someone up in the bullpen, but he let Jansen Junk finish the job yesterday. Here's what it meant from Jansen.
That was really cool. I mean, I think that was my first time going 7 innings professionally at the major league level. So I really wanted. I knew my pitch count was pretty low just by the feeling. I felt like every inning went by pretty quick. So yeah, I think having to go deep like that, like I did, really helps our pen out the way, they were used yesterday. Yeah, just supporting the guys. I think that's the biggest thing, just going out there, stepping out on the field for that 7th inning, that a little bit more adrenaline, a little bit more fire under me, just to finish it for our guys.
Jansen Junk finishes his first half 4-1, a 2.68 ERA, 10 games, 5 starts, 50 1/3. He also has a save. He has done it all for Miami. Now, offensively, it was a struggle. Trevor Rogers went opposite Junk, and he was awesome, Rogers was, and no one was able to really create any offense until the 7th inning, where the Marlins plated one from Derek Hill, a much-needed RBI and a base knock for D. Hill, who just came off the IL. The Marlins then plated another in the 8th inning, but it was that 9th inning where Miami plated 4, and it was Xavier Edwards who hit his first home run of the season, and he was the last player in the show with the minimum of AB's 3.1, according to Jack McMullen on the plate appearances, to hit a home run. Here's what he had to say after his long ball.
Yeah, after I hit that double, I thought maybe it'd get out, but not enough. And then I got to second, I was talking to Henderson on their side, and I was saying, maybe I'm just not meant to hit one, because I've come close now. It feels like 3 or 4 times in the last week or so, So, got a good pitch to hit, was ready for it, on time, and cut out in front. Good swing, and glad it went over.
Well, it was funny. Edwards couldn't believe it, but you know who felt it coming? Derek Hill.
I'm not going to say I called it this morning, but I called it this morning. So I thought that first one, I called my shot, but he picked me up on the second one. It's incredible. I mean, he's an unbelievable player in the field and in the box, and especially off the field. He's a great guy.
Yeah, it was really an awesome, resilient win for Miami yesterday in a moment where they needed it. This road trip started off hot. Marlins took 2 in Cincinnati, dropped the next 2, and it was the offense that was probably the most concerning part, was shut out in that final game in Cincy, plated 2 in Game 3. So then you came into Friday night, and you only plated 2 runs against Baltimore, so it was 4 total runs going into Saturday in the last couple of games, and the offense just found something. Sometimes it takes that Derek Hill, which didn't even look like a full swing. It was kind of late, but he found the hole. You get one, and then all of a sudden in that 8th inning, Jesus Sanchez comes up in a big spot, a pinch hit situation. The second one was massive for the Marlins, and I think it almost broke the back of Baltimore. And again, we saw that 9th inning, Xavier Edwards hit his first home run. 494 homerless AB streak ended yesterday for Xavier Edwards. So a great win yesterday. Marlins will look to win the series here on Sunday afternoon. We will see what time we start. Tarp is on the field. We're supposed to start at 1:35. Again, Yuri Perez will go opposite Brandon Young. Coming up next, the top 5 moments will be revealed on the Marlins Radio Network.
Opportunity for D. Hill.
Runners lead. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Ground ball through the hole. Base hit. Myers rounding third. He's going to get the green light. Here's the throw to the plate. It's cut off. Myers scores. Now in a rundown is Stowers. The Marlins do have the lead, but Stowers is tagged out for takeoff the corner.
2-1 pitch. Sanchez with a line shot. That is through and a base hit. That's going to plate another run. Pinch hit RBI single for Jesus Sanchez. Welcome to the contest, and a happy Saturday to you, Jesus. 2-0 Fish in the top of the 8th.
Out, but the ball came free, so
it was
obviously safe.
0-1 pitch is a bouncing ball to the forehand of the shortstop Henderson. He's got it sliding. He pops up, and he does not have a throw to first. He's got a throw to home, and Stowers broke for the plate. He is in with a feet-first slide. Hill pushes to second on that. Kyle Stowers out of nowhere took an extra 90 feet to give the Fish a 3-0 lead.
He was able to score.
First pitch to Xavier Edwards. That one hit high in the air, out to right center field and deep. Laureano back at the track, at the wall, and it's gone. He finally did it. The last qualified hitter without a homer. He's doing his bicep curls as he rounds third base. Homer number 1 on the year. And the Fish have blown it open in the 9th. 6-0. All 4 runs coming with 2 men gone in the inning.
Yeah, after I hit that double, I thought maybe it'd get out, but not enough. And then I got to second. I was talking to Henderson on their side, and I was saying, maybe I'm just not meant to hit one. Because I've come close now. It feels like 3-4 times in the last week or so. Yeah, so got a good pitch to hit. Was ready for it on time and cut out in front. Good swing, and glad it went over.
Movers.
Marlins Radio here back in Baltimore, live from Camden Yards. Steven Strom, Jack McMullen, and Craig Minervini. Don't miss a moment of Marlins action. Download the iHeartRadio app, make Fox Sports 940 the top preset, and then listen to every Marlins game. We were supposed to start at 1:35 today, series finale between the Orioles and the Marlins. Rain's coming down here. Tarp's on the field. We will start at 1:50. Yuri Perez will go opposite Brandon Young. Man, this first half comes to an end today, and it has been filled with exciting moments, exhilarating wins, and just thrilling victories. The Marlins have had 24 comeback wins this season so far. They're 6-3 in extra inning games. We've seen Agustin Ramirez come up from the minor leagues, have multiple home run games. We've seen the growth of Kyle Stowers into an all-star. Yuri Perez came back from Tommy John. Sandy Alcantara came back from Tommy John. We've had just some incredible moments. So I did want to share with you guys my top 5. And, of course, we've linked them with highlights for our StreamYard audience that can see visually. We also have some of our best GoPro moments, so we kind of mixed them up together, but it's awesome because our audio audience on the great Fox Sports 940 and Ahmed back in the studio is able to play the audio so you can hear it in your car or however you may be listening on this Sunday afternoon. So let's start here. I should have gotten some instrumental, but we do have a game show that we will do. That will have some instrumental. But let's do top 5 moments here of the first half. We will rewind back to April 21st, 2025. I don't think I need to say the year. How about just April 21st? Max Meyer became the first pitcher in the season at the time and just the 8th in Marlins history to strike out 14 batters in a game. Here's how his career high, which was 9 at the time, sounded, plus the 14.
Punch outs on several occasions. 1-2 pitch. That one at the knees, a called third strike, and a career high for Max. 9 punch-outs, and we're early. He's done it in 43 pitches, and there are 2 men gone in the top of the 4th. 2-2 to Lux. 14 Ks for Meyer. Slider at the knees like he's been doing all night. Cut on and missed by Lux. And Max Meyer gets through 6 scoreless innings in one of the best starts in recent memory in a Marlins uniform.
And as Marlins starter to ever reach 10 punch-outs within the first 4 innings. It was Myers at the time, 4th quality start. We know he's now out for the season with the hip surgery. But at that time, it was his 4th quality start, and Miami staff had only produced 1 at that time. And again, that was April 21st, earlier in the year. Okay, number 4. This came even a little bit earlier. This was Game 3 of the season. Marlins obviously opened up on March 27th with a walk-off win. 28th, they dropped Game 2 to the Pirates. But March 29th, it was all tied up in the 9th inning. Anthony Bender, Jack Sawinski, and Griffin Conine made his presence felt.
Santa Rosa Junior College, 20th round pick of the Royals in 2016. And Sawinski cracks one out to left field. The newly inserted left fielder Conine is back. Warning track and the wall. He leaps. Griffin Conine makes the grab. You're kidding me. He took a homer away from Sawinski.
Marlins ended up winning that game. Derek Hill scored on a wild pitch. That whole series, that opening series against Pittsburgh, was memorable in itself, with really just the first game of the season with the walk-off. But Griffin Conine, that was a monster series. That was a coming-out party for Griffin Conine, who, again, was called up in 2024. We didn't know what it would look like for Griffin going into 25, had a nice spring training, and then made just some incredible catches in the field. He had a home run over that weekend against the Pirates as well. But that moment has to be up there. Saved the game, by the way. Again, Marlins ended up winning Game 3 of that series against the Pirates in walk-off fashion. Let's move to number 3. We hinted towards it. We'll go right back. March 27th, first opening day walk-off in Marlins franchise history, and this was a teaser on what we would see from Kyle Stowers, not just in Game 1, but for this entire first half.
In the 0-2, Stowers rips down the right field line. That gets in, and the ball game is over. Kyle Stowers with a line shot down the right field line, and it's a walk-off winner for the Fish on opening day.
David Bednar blew it for the Pittsburgh Pirates, and the context behind that one. First of all, Kyle Stowers had struck out 61 times with his time with the Marlins after he was traded from Baltimore to Miami. That 24 season, he played about 50 games. He struck out 61 times. The majority of those strikeouts, heaters up in the zone. What was the pitch Bednar threw? Heater up in the zone. Kyle Stowers turned on one and almost looked shocked when he hit it in right field. You don't want to say that could have been the moment where his confidence changed and his belief in himself changed, but we could if we really want to do the storytelling thing. Okay, number 2, the Marlins. They caught fire on that road trip. They beat Atlanta on Sunday in Miami, but then they went out to San Francisco and they took 3 against the Giants, who at the time were playing good ball. They just got Rafael Devers, and the Marlins shut them down. They tried to throw it Otto Lopez, backfired big time. Clayton McCullough got thrown out. Marlins ended up sweeping San Francisco. They then trout and trance to Arizona. They take 3 from Torey Lovello's Arizona Diamondbacks. First time they were swept at home. Marlins came back home to the 305, enjoyed an off day, welcomed in the Minnesota Twins with their ace, Edward Cabrera, who shut it down for 7 innings, and the Marlins ended up punching their 8th win in a row for the first time since 2008.
0-2 is cut on and missed. A changeup that bottomed out, and he might have saved his best pitch for last. Edward Cabrera, K's Brooks Lee, and he's through 7 scoreless against the Twins. Time to stretch in Miami. 2-1. That one lifted out to left center field. Hill and Myers converging. Derek Hill calling for it. D. Hill's got it. And that is how this ball game ends. Horsepower on the hill. Edward Cabrera for 7 scoreless. Bender with a 1-2-3 8th, and Ronnie Enriquez does the same in the 9th. And for the first time since 2008, your Fightin' Fish have won 8 in a row.
for the Miami Marlins, 8 in a row, and I'm over it. I promise you I'm over it. But that next game, Kyle Stowers should have had an RBI single, and it hit the umpire, and it got called back. But I'm over it. I promise I'm over it. It should have been 9 in a row. Marlins ended up winning the series in Game 3 against the Twins. So one could argue it should have gotten to 10, but I digress. Number one moment of the 2025 first half. Who else than the All-Star Kyle Stowers? He opened up the victory on opening day against the Pirates. And then really, and throughout All-Star campaigns, you have to have moments or the moment. This was the moment for Kyle Stowers on May 3rd against the Athletics. The Marlins trailed 6-5 in the ninth. Kyle Stowers at bat, bases loaded and 2 outs against a guy that can throw 102 miles per hour, Mason Miller.
Now Kyle. First pitch. Stowers hits it out to left center. Soderstrom on the move. That is back, and it's gone! To left center field, a walk-off grand slam for Kyle Stowers. And off the Reaper, the Marlins come back and win it. Mayhem in Miami. 9-6 your final score.
Incredible moment for Kyle Stowers. First ever grand slam in his career. He did it in walk-off fashion. That is my number one moment of the first half here in 2025. How the Marlins have done it? Well, it started on opening day. They struggled in the month of April, went 9-16. In May, you started to see some improvements, 11-15. The month of June was so much fun, 14-12. And in July so far, 6-6. Xavier Edwards, it looks like he is back in form. Otto Lopez has had some incredible moments. Augustin Ramirez has jolted this lineup and really provided the explosiveness that maybe the Marlins lacked. We've seen some incredible pitching performances from Edward Cabrera. Heck, Jansen Junk has been sensational. 7 shutout yesterday. Ronnie Enriquez has turned into one of the best firemen in all of baseball. Anthony Bender could have argued should have been an all-star this season. It has been what we honestly thought from a character perspective with the Marlins. Gritty, never give up. Every single night, they're in the fight. The work doesn't drop off. The coaching staff has been incredible. It has been a memorable first half, and those are your top 5 moments, according to me, Steven Strom, of the 2025 season. It is game 95 today. Supposed to start at 1:35. We will not. We will start at 1:50. Yuri Perez will go opposite Brandon Young. We will break here. I will get you out of the count with the 2 pitchers on the mound. Then we'll have Jack and Craig on to talk first half awards. Hopefully Ahmed has the instrumental ready. Actually, I have that. He tried to put it in. It had a nice touch, but I did do my due diligence there. Segment 4 will have some game show music. Marlins on deck continues. 1:50 first pitch rubber match. Baltimore Orioles, Miami Marlins right here. Fox Sports 940. Miami.
Opportunity for D. Hill.
Runners lead. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Ground ball through the hole. Base hit. Myers rounding third. He's going to get the green light. Here's the throw to the plate. It's cut off. Myers scores. Now on a rundown is Stowers. The Marlins do have the lead, but Stowers is tagged out. Would take off the corner.
2-1 pitch. Sanchez with a line shot. That is through and a base hit. That's going to plate another run. Pinch hit RBI single for Jesus Sanchez. Welcome to the contest, and a happy Saturday to you, Jesus. 2-0 Fish in the top of the 8th.
Out, but the ball came free. So
was it?
Obviously safe.
0-1 pitch is a bouncing ball to the forehand of the shortstop Henderson. He's got it sliding. He pops up, and he does not have a throw to first. He's got a throw to home, and Stowers broke for the plate. He is in with a feet-first slide. Hill pushes to second on that. Kyle Stowers out of nowhere took an extra 90 feet to give the Fish a 3-0 lead.
He was able to score.
First pitch to Xavier Edwards. That one hit high in the air, out to right center field and deep. Laureano back at the track, at the wall, and it's gone. He finally did it. The last qualified hitter without a homer. He's doing his bicep curls as he rounds third base. X, homer number 1 on the year. And the Fish have blown it open in the 9th, 6-0. All 4 runs coming with 2 men gone in the inning.
Yeah, after I hit that double, I thought maybe it'd get out, but not enough. And then I got second. I was talking to Henderson on their side, and I was saying, maybe I'm just not meant to hit one, because I've come close now. It feels like 3-4 times in the last week or so. So, got a good pitch to hit. Was ready for it on time and cut out in front. Good swing, and glad it went over.
Happy tastes good. Only at participating locations.
This is Clayton McCullough here, and you're listening to Marlins on Deck with Steven Strom on the Marlins Radio Network.
Take the Marlins wherever you go. Download the iHeartRadio app. Make Fox Sports 940 the top preset, and then listen to every Miami Marlins game this season. That was an awesome last segment. We revealed the top 5 moments, according to me, of the first half. Max Meyer's 14 punch-out game was number 5. Number 4, Griffin Conine's catch on Jack Sawinski to keep the game tied at 2. Number 3, first opening day walk-off in Marlins franchise history, courtesy of Kyle Stowers. Number 2, Marlins won 8 in a row for the first time since 2008. And number 1, Kyle Stowers with a grand slam walk-off home run against Mason Miller. Okay, let's get you ahead of the count here. Again, we're going to start at 150 today. It was originally supposed to be a 135 rubber match. Yuri Perez and Brandon Young. This is Marlins on Deck. Hello, everyone. Steven Strom. Ahmed back in the studio. Fox Sports 940 Miami. Final game of this road trip. Final game for the first half of this season. Excited to get back to the 305 and enjoy a couple of days off. Jack McMullen and Craig Minervini. They have your call. They will join me in the next couple of minutes, though, for our award show of the first half. Okay, let's start here with Yuri Perez, 22-year-old right-hander who will make his 7th start of the season. 2-2, a 4 ERA, 27 innings pitched, 29 Ks to 11 walks. The big thing with Yuri has been limiting the free passes. His first start of the season, 2 walks. Second start, 3. Third start, 2. Fourth start, 3. The last 2, though, for Yuri, he surrendered just 1 walk across 11 innings of baseball. It started against the Twins. He went 6 shutout, K'd 7, walked 1, gave up just 1 hit in a 4-1 win. His last start was on Tuesday in Cincinnati. 5 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, 8 punch-outs, 0 walks. The only blemish on his line was a first-inning long ball in the first inning, and then he was untouchable. Big stat for Yuri, foul balls as well. He has limited them as of late. Against the Nationals, he gave up 27. Against Arizona, 24. He has limited that. That has been an issue for Yuri. That's what's kind of put up the pitch count and inflated it, and then the walks come. So really for Yuri to look out for today, and it's always weird with pitchers, you get a little delay, but we're starting to see actually Brandon Young come out to throw. Tarp is still on the field. Big question for Yuri. He's a younger guy. How does he respond after a rain delay? How does the routine look? All of that. Let's get to Brandon Young, and we're getting an announcement here on the PA. Start now TBD. Okay, so this was supposed to start at 150. Now we don't know what time this is going to start. We shall see. But we'll continue here on Marlins on Deck. Brandon Young, 26-year-old right-hander from Lumberton, Texas, undrafted free agent in 2020. Worked his way onto the 40-man roster in 2024 in the month of November. Debuted April 19th of this year. Brandon Young's an interesting cat. He became the 4th Oriole to complete an immaculate inning in his last start, first since Kevin Gausman in 2018. But it's been an up-and-down season for Young. He made a couple of starts and then was placed on the IL with right shoulder discomfort. June 3rd started a rehab assignment. June 25th, he was called up. He throws a 4-seamer, a curveball, a changeup, a cutter, and a splitter. His last start against the Mets went 5 1/3, 5 hits, 2 runs, 6 punch-outs last week right here at Camden Yards. So Yuri Perez and Brandon Young will face off when? I guess I really don't know. Supposed to start at 135. We got a 150 first pitch call, and now we've got a TBD.
Opportunity for D. Hill.
Runners lead. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Ground ball through the hole. Base hit. Myers rounding third. He's going to get the green leg. Here's the throw to the plate. It's cut off. Myers scores. Now to run down is Stowers. The Marlins do have the lead, but Stowers is tagged out. For take off the corner.
2-1 pitch. Sanchez with a line shot. That is through and a base hit. That's going to plate another run. Pinch hit RBI single for Jesus Sanchez. Welcome to the contest, and a happy Saturday to you, Jesus. 2-0 Fish in the top of the 8th.
Out, but the ball came free. So
it was
obviously safe.
0-1 pitch is a bouncing ball to the forehand of the shortstop Henderson. He's got it sliding. He pops up, and he does not have a throw to first. He's got a throw to home, and Stowers broke for the plate. He is in with a feet-first slide. Hill pushes to second on that. Kyle Stowers out of nowhere took an extra 90 feet to give the Fish a 3-0 lead.
He was able to score.
First pitch to Xavier Edwards. That one hit high in the air, out to right center field and deep. Laureano back at the track, at the wall, and it's gone. He finally did it. The last qualified hitter without a homer. He's doing his bicep curls as he rounds third base. Homer number 1 on the year. And the Fish have blown it open in the 9th. 6-0. All 4 runs coming with 2 men gone in the inning.
Yeah, after I hit that double, I thought maybe it'd get out, but not enough. And then I got to second. I was talking to Henderson on their side, and I was saying, maybe I'm just not meant to hit one. Because I've come close now. It feels like 3-4 times in the last week or so. So, got a good pitch to hit. Was ready for it on time and cut out in front. Good swing, and glad it went over.
Requiere Xfinity Internet. Velocidades reales varían. Velocidades se reducen después del uso de 30 gigabits por línea. Los límites de datos y los ahorros reales varían.
All right, back here in Baltimore, live from Camden Yards. Tarp is on the field, 135 first pitch, no longer. 150 first pitch was the next announcement, no longer. We will wait here, TBD on first pitch here in the rubber match, final game before the All-Star break between the Marlins and the Orioles. Fox Sports 940 Miami, Steven Strom, Jack McMullen, Craig Minervini. Yuri Perez will go opposite Brandon Young here this afternoon. Again, TBD on the game time. Okay, before because this is going to be an extended now Marlins on Deck, which is always a good thing. We got some good comments here on our StreamYard and YouTube audience. Here we go. Here we got someone. Oh, boy, time for an extended on Deck show.
Oh, boy.
You know DJ Chili Phil. Jack, you got some All-Star news for us, man?
I do. I got 2 headlines from earlier today that I thought were really cool and I would like to share.
Go ahead.
This from Lachlan Marsh, who covers the Phillies for the Philadelphia Inquirer. Christopher Sanchez told media that the Phillies have activated the bonus clause in his contract for an All-Star selection. Christopher Sanchez, notably not an All-Star. Sanchez has really thrown the ball well this year, 108 innings at an ERA under 2.6, but he was notably a snub, and Jacob Mizorowski, we talked about yesterday, after 5 starts is in the All-Star game. Now, Sanchez does start today for the Phillies, so he would be ineligible. So there's a facet of people that are saying, oh, what's the point? Why would you name him an All-Star if he can't pitch? Well, number one, there's monetary value there, and you just learned that, a $50,000 bonus given to him by the Philadelphia Phillies. That was in his contract. The other one is, that's a really important note. Like, of course you want to be an All-Star. Anybody that is All-Star deserving should be named an All-Star, and then you take their availability into account after that. So Christopher Sanchez should have absolutely been tabbed a National League All-Star. He unfortunately was not. Jacob Mizorowski, after 5 starts, is. And the Phillies took the ball into their court and said, you know what, we're going to give you that bonus payout of $50,000 for being an All-Star, even though the voting process got it wrong amongst the players and the coaches. So I thought that was really cool from the Philadelphia Phillies, a division rival. The other one that I thought was really cool, apparently, and this is according to Evan Woodbury, who does a nice job covering the Detroit Tigers, Max Fried was initially extended the opportunity to start the All-Star game for the American League, right?
Sure.
You sign a $200 million contract with the New York Yankees, but he came up and threw in Atlanta. That's where he made the name for himself. Fried has been unbelievable so far this year. He's only lost 1 game, I think. And Fried was given the opportunity to start at his old home ballpark. But this, according to Evan Woodbury, Tarek Skubal said he recently got a call from Yankee starter Max Fried. He asked me if I wanted to start the All-Star game. Skubal deferred to Fried, especially since Fried had thrown for 8 seasons in Atlanta, but Fried was insistent. This is from Fried, quote, I think you deserve it.
I was just wondering if you wanted to start it. So apparently Aaron Boone extended the offer to Max Fried to start the All-Star game, and Fried said, you know what, I think Skubal is a little bit more deserving. So I thought those were two good stories from Fried and Skubal, and then Christopher Sanchez.
Excellent stories. Christopher Sanchez this year, absolutely deservingly so. 7-2, 2.59 ERA, 18 starts, 107 2/3 innings pitched. It stinks because Mizorowski didn't do anything. I mean, as far as the voting, he just happens to be the recipient of going to the All-Star game. I'm sure he probably feels the same way deep down, maybe undeserving, but it's not really his fault. Awesome story with Max Fried and Tarek Skubal. Any comments on that, Craigie, or you want to move forward?
I think it's amazing, both of those stories. One, how do we get those bosses to give you a clause when you didn't actually get there?
Yeah.
We love our bosses. Nothing against that. And the second is for Fried to call is really incredible move on his part. And it's exciting for the game, I think, to have Skubal as the starter.
I don't think I have any buyer's remorse about my top 5 moments of the first half. You guys listen. Did I miss out on any? Is there any honorable mentions that I should have had in there, both of you?
There were a couple that jumped to the front of my mind, and I think the one that would have been number 6 for me is Dane Myers' game-ending catch in New York. Craig was on the call for us there. Myers dove headfirst into the wall.
That was crazy.
And he managed to come out of that with a toe issue. Like, we were worried about his neck because he went face first into the wall, maybe losing some teeth, and he had a toe injury. But he dove headfirst into the wall, or ran headfirst into the wall to make a catch to end the game in New York and tie a bow on a Marlins win. So for me, that was probably number 6. You had the Griffin Conine home run robbery. We asked Blake Lally, the third base coach, about his catch of the year. He didn't even mention the Conine home run.
Yeah, I know. He mentioned Burt.
And you gave it to him.
I gave it to him.
Jack
That was the first one I gave
Conine,
it to him. Conine
recency
catch,
bias.
Myers and Hill in New York. And then he gave me Myers and Hill in New York and said, Hernandez also took a homer away, too. I think he's just aware of who's on the roster. So
yeah. There is an element to that in baseball where you have so many games, day after, you don't even know what day it is.
Yep.
This time we know it's Sunday.
Yeah.
And what happened, which game, and you ask somebody on the spot, give me your – it's not easy to remember sometimes.
No.
Okay. You guys ready for this?
Yeah.
I've been looking forward to this. I got a couple texts from Craigie last night, had some great ideas as far as how we can wrap up this first half. And I thought this one, none of them, none of them. I said, it's not TV, this is radio, okay? But we are kind of doing like a simulcast here.
Did Craig bring up the idea of funny hats? It was like, what if we all wore sailor hats or something like that?
No. Craigie did have a good idea about Xavier Edwards, gathering the best bites about how we were like, oh, Xavier Edwards, he's going to hit it out. Oh, no, he doesn't. Oh, I don't know if he's ever going to hit it out. It was a good thought.
He just did the Wagaman thing where he spent like couple of days working on
base running
last week.
Yeah.
And actually,
a couple of days on that. I thought the turnaround was about 8 hours.
Yeah, it was. It was a quick turnaround.
A lot of time.
Again, we welcome you in here. Marlins on deck. We were supposed to start at 1:35 for everyone that has just checked in. Fox Sports 940 Miami. I'm Steven Strom. Hello, Jack McMullen, Craig Minervini. Final game here before the All-Star break. Tarp is still on the field. The rain is coming down. We shall see what time we start. Still TBD on when we will throw the first pitch. Well, not me, but Brandon Young. Okay. Let's get the music going here. We've got superlatives for the first half. I'm going to bring you on for me. Sure. And we just got an announcement from the PA that we're officially in the rain delay. Thanks. Nice. Appreciate that. Okay, guys. This is a tough one off the jump. I don't want to start here. Let's do best pitcher of the first half. What do we got?
You want me to go first, Jack, on this one? I'm going. I may surprise you with this one. Anthony Bender. 171 average. Not many inherited runners have scored. ERA just over 2. Lights out with that nasty stuff. And I know some of the other names, you guys have probably come up with it. But for me, Anthony Bender, to come back and be the force again for the Marlins out of the bullpen is tremendous. He's had a great year.
I like that one. And the obvious one is probably Tabby. I like that you went the other direction. Jack McMullen.
Ronnie Enriquez. I'm also
Attaboy.
The bullpen. I had to 42 appearances with a 2.6 ERA, 45 innings. This guy's walking. Punched out 63. If Ronnie gets into this ballgame, he can tie or move past Tanner Scott for the most strikeouts by a Marlins reliever before the All-Star break. Scott had 64 a couple of years ago. And I just want to list off the guys that are ahead of him in the strikeout department right now among bullpen arms. Brian Abreu in Houston, Josh Hader in Houston, Griffin Jackson, Minnesota, and Brandon Little in Toronto, the best reliever that nobody's talking about. Ronnie Enriquez leads National League relievers in strikeouts with 63. He's 3 clear of Jeremiah Estrada in San Diego, and it's hitter and Abner Uribe, who we just saw in Milwaukee with a 100-mile-an-hour sinker. So Ronnie Enriquez has been the premier bullpen strikeout artist in the National League. He's my pitcher.
I love that. We got a couple of comments here. Junk? Really?
Yeah, absolutely. Stay tuned.
Okay.
Youngster, stay tuned.
He can win second half for sure. I'll go with Edward Cabrera. Will be the simpleton here and pick the guy that has been most, I think, rise as far as arm is concerned. Edward Cabrera's season, even though I know Friday night wasn't great. 3-4, 3.61 ERA, 16 yards, 82 and a third, 86 punch-outs. He has been simply sensational for the Marlins. Every fifth day you feel like this is the guy that's going to give you a quality start. Best hitter of 2025 in the second half, Jack McMullen, goes to,
or in the first half.
In the first half, goes to
1 countdown. Yeah. 3, 2, 1.
That was
guy going to Atlanta tonight. Kyle Stowers, man, come on, this guy is unbelievable. He's one of the best outfielders in the National League. You can make the argument that the outfield is the best position improving in the game right now with guys like Acuna, James Wood, Fernando Tatis, Carl Armstrong, Kyle Tucker. Stowers has been right there with those guys. Kyle Stowers. Tip the cap to you, Augustine. Tip the cap to you, Liam Hicks. Cap to you, Xavier Edwards as of late, but he is Stowers right.
Greggy?
100%. 16 homers, the ribbies, the average. And what I like probably best is the recovery from the dip.
Yep.
He had a tremendous start, unbelievable out of the gates. He was on MLB Network probably 3 weeks into the season. A lot of people never heard of Kyle Stowers. And then he had the struggles, but he's come back. He's got the smile. He's worked hard on every facet of his game, from physical to obviously mental as well. It's been fun to watch.
Yeah, he's been sensational, Craig. I'm so happy you mentioned that, because now people forget about that adjustment that the league made. You got to make that second adjustment. Kyle Stowers has been able to not only make it, but now show that this is a guy that's consistent every day, really effective and valuable player for the Marlins. Most unforgettable performance. Well, this is an individual award. This could be Jansen Junk yesterday. This could be Edward Cabrera. This could be Max Meyer. What is the most?
You need to throw out.
I'm sorry. Most unforgettable performance. I'll yap it, Craig Minner.
All right, I'm going with one from yesterday. Actually, Xavier Edwards. That home run to me, with him coming around.
Unforgettable performance.
Yes, the build up to it. We've been talking about this for how long, especially in this road trip. He has gone, almost, you said, 500 bats without a home run. Longest streak in Major League Baseball. He's running around. He's got a big smile. Everybody felt it. I'm going with Xavier Edwards.
Young Jack.
He Wagner hit a homer on the left center field. Myers 14 strikeouts.
Yeah.
Myers 14-game performance was a sign that he can be a really darn good pitcher in Major League Baseball, because I think that a lot of Marlins fans were clamoring for that "I'm here" stamp start for Max Meyer. I know he struggled a little bit before getting himself hip surgery, but Max announcing "I'm here" and I'm a build around rotation with that 14-game performance in Cincinnati. He rode one pitch in one location. Honestly, it was slider at the knees, slider starting at the knees, dipping to the shins. This guy had the best pitch in baseball.
Most unforgettable performance for me, I'm going to go as a team. That game in Tampa Bay at Steinbrenner Field. Marlins won 11-10 in 10 innings. This was a wild game. Tampa scored 2 in the second. Tampa scored 4 in the second. Miami scored 4 in the third, tied up at 4-4. Tampa took a 2-run lead in the fourth. Miami played it 6 in the fifth. They have the lead. Tampa comes back at the bottom of the sixth, scores 3. Bottom line is, this was an unforgettable game. Offensive war. It was an incredible win. And that is what Clayton McCullough and a lot of the guys point back to when they go on that 8-game streak. When did things start to change? They all go to that Tampa Bay series where it was 90 90 degrees. It felt like 96. Everyone was sweating bullets. There was a lot of adversity that happened over the weekend in that series. But McCullough, first ever ejection. I think that is one of my unforgettable performances for the Miami Marlins this year. Your thoughts on that?
I love it. Yeah. I love that pick. I think as a team, that's a game that jumps out, and I love the wrinkle of that might have been the thing that sent the Marlins on their hot stretch. So I like that pick for the team-wide.
Biggest surprise, Craig Minervini.
I got to go with Jansen Junk. There were some candidates here too. I don't want to get into every other candidate, but I think Stowers is a surprise. I think Ramirez is a surprise because he's been able to play. Yeah. We expect him to be great, but we didn't know that he'd be here for the first half. But I'm going to go with Junk because this guy's come out of really nowhere to have a whip under 1 so far this year. 4 walks in 50 innings. It's unbelievable. That is 16 walks in a 200-inning phase. And 1 home run. Nobody's given up less homers than him. 50 innings or more. The wins, the poise, the ability against Junk.
Jack?
Pitcher, Junk. Hitter, for me, Rule 5 pick this year. Did you think the Rule 5 pick was going to have an OPS flirting with 800 by the All-Star break?
That's a good one.
Liam Hicks,
a really good one.
For me, I mean, we watched the first week of Liam Hicks today. It really did not look good for the first week. We said, oh, this guy clearly hasn't had a AAA plate appearance. He was in AA and he wasn't hitting for power, but what has this guy done? He's settled in at the major league level, and he's getting his ace swing off the advantage count. He's ahead 2-0, 3-0, 3-1. He's going to get the big swing off. We saw him hit a homer 109 miles an hour off the bat against the LA Dodgers. Like, for me, Liam Hicks is blossoming into much more well-rounded hitter than we could have ever expected in year 1.
Love that pick. I'm going to go with the 10th round pick, 292nd overall, the 2022 draft. You don't know him? It's Cade Gibson. Cade Gibson has made 22 appearances. He's pitched to a 2.79 ERA. He's become one of Clayton McCullough's big southpaws in that bullpen. Remember coming into this year, everyone was asking, hey, how are you going to do it? You don't have a lefty. Like, you don't have, like, Veneziano didn't work. Josh Simpson's up here, but he hasn't been thrown into completely big-time situations. Cade Gibson has come out of nowhere. This guy, I didn't even hear of in spring training. Did you hear of anything of Cade Gibson, Jack? He didn't pitch in spring. He didn't pitch in big league spring. I mean, that's pretty remarkable. He has come on the scene here, and I think he provided the versatility, the optionality that Clayton McCullough always talks about. He's open this year. He's been in leverage situations. He's come in bulk situations. Remember that Philadelphia game where the Marlins got off to a really bad start? Cade Gibson came in and just kept throwing 0, 0, 0. I think, Craig Minervini, you got a chance to interview him after that game, correct?
It was unbelievable because his family was there. We hadn't even met him.
Yeah.
And then could we get him? And John Eric Alvarez did a great job bringing him over to us. We were able to interview him, and he was he almost broke down. His dad had passed away, and he mentioned that the only thing he's missing was that his dad wasn't here for this game. So it was a great story, but a bunch of them you could even say the Marlins as a whole, as a ball club, have been surprising, coming out and playing this kind of baseball. Beating good teams.
April 20th, Gibson. Pretty solid ever since. Well, again, we were supposed to start here at 1:35, then 1:50. We still don't have an update.
Can I interrupt 1 second here, Steve, if you don't mind? This is a strange rain delay. We haven't showed. There's not much rain. The fans are in the crowd here. There's only a couple. Maybe you see them with umbrellas.
Show them,
So
Jack.
the fans are sitting here. This is not some giant rainstorm. And everybody's waiting. It's almost, when's the show going to start? When are they going to open up the curtain? Or when's the rain going to start? And
yeah.
That too. I mean, I'm looking on the field. I'm looking on the garden. Are there sprinkles? What is going on here? There are a couple of people in umbrellas on this side. So maybe there's a sprinkle, or they're keeping away from the shade. And it's covered by the clouds.
My poor mother. She's here right now with my grandmother. Of course, the one game they come to, it ends up raining. My sisters are here as well. They actually were on the QR code on the big board.
Were they really?
They were.
Oh.
They did send in a selfie. They are here. We should.
Can we do that?
Yeah. Okay, I'll do that. This is Fox Sports 940 Miami. Marlins on deck here. Steven Strom, Jack McMullen, Craig Minervini. Craigie,
Yeah.
you
Oh,
get the
sorry.
wires,
On the
man.
cord.
Please.
All right. I'm trying to get in for the picture.
Unbelievable.
I think Jack's wheel went over it, actually.
Okay. No. Maybe Jack. The rook. Okay. So again, we're kind of in a standstill. I wish I could
We
give
have
you a
one
little
more
bit more
superlative,
information. Do we have another superlative?
Yes.
What is it?
We didn't do best moment.
Best moments. Best
I paid
moment.
attention in the
Thank you.
pregame
The
meeting.
But best moment of the 2025 first half for the Miami Marlins. What is it?
I'll let Jack do the pictures. I'm going to go first on this one. I am going back to June 29th. The Marlins were down in the 8th inning, and with 2 outs, you focus on what happened. And they scored 5 runs. Lopez had a 2-run single. Hernandez had a 3-run double, all with 2 outs. The Marlins had a 5-run 8th. I wound up beating Arizona 6-4 and making Marlins history in the process, winning their 6th consecutive game, 6-0 on the road. They had never done that before in their 33-year history. And you forget almost the way they did it. They had to come back in the 8th inning to make that record. So that's the moment I'm going with, the 6-0 trip at Dock in Arizona.
That is a fantastic one. I completely forgot that they had come back in that Arizona. Yeah. May 3rd, 2025. Off the record. Kyle Stowers, the walk-off grand slam. That was an all-star moment. That was the moment of the year. You want to play? You want to play real quick? Sure. All right, we're gonna play that Mason Miller choking.
Now Kyle. First pitch. Stowers hits it out to left center. Soderstrom on the move. There it is back, and it's gone to left center field. A walk-off grand slam for Kyle Stowers. And off the Reaper, the Marlins come back and win it. Mayhem in Miami. 9-6 your final score.
Couple of things to take away. Number one, Kelly Stackle immediately jumping up with the fist in the air. Number two, the only time I've ever called a baseball game a t-shirt. But listen, they gave us the City Connect t-shirts. They did. They gave us the Retro Wave t-shirts. Energizing the city. They said everybody wear it. And I was like, okay. I mean, I saw a comment when you tweeted that out that, oh, so fitting for the Marlins to have a guy wearing a t-shirt calling. I was like, no. Can't this was our director giving us t-shirts. Yep. City Connect Saturday. Which that should be a highlight in itself. We've got some outstanding jerseys from the City Connector Fire. That moment, you called that with a little attitude. That was my takeaway from that. You got a little swag from that. You were like, yeah, there's some magic in Miami. There was some attitude. There was a little, like, for me, that moment, watching it happen, watching it unfold in real time, was Kyle Stowers is here for the foreseeable future. Like, that was the big thing for me. Yeah. I watched that unfold and I said, okay, maybe you can cheat to get to that Bednar single on opening day. Maybe you can cheat to get an upstairs heater in the 6th inning. But when you can get to 102 upstairs, for my money, the best closer in the game, you're here, man. And for me, that was Kyle Stowers saying that. Craig Minervini, we got a comment on our StreamYard. Fox Sports 940 Miami.
Yes.
On deck, from Craig McMullen. Craig, do you want to read the comment that we just got from what individual?
Kyle Seeloff, great program, first time, long time, happy to see you. Great meeting. So
What happened today, Craig? Do we want to share?
I like to go down and get the bags down fairly early. At 10:45, bags on a getaway day. At 10:30, I brought the bags down. But there's a half-hour gap between, according to what I had, as far as our bus times were concerned, 10:45 bags, 11 a.m. bus. I looked again at it. I'm like, I got a half hour. Go back and do a little work. And then about quarter of, I'm like, you know what? Let me just go down, get to the bus a little early, and I'll do the rest of the work in the ballpark. So I come down, but I can take the elevator down, blah, blah, blah. I'd already checked out, by the way. It's 10:50, 10:49. No bus. Very strange. Usually you see this big, giant bus lurking as you're coming and looking through the window. You see the jump of the bus. And when I didn't see it, I'm like, I'm going to go down. There's not a lot of room there. It's a circle. There's no back door. The bus left early. And my sources are telling me it might have been one Jeff Nelson.
Really?
Quite frankly.
Four-time World Series
who got
champion.
a little antsy, who forgot that I paid for most of his food last night and split the bill. He had to, do more things than I did. And, it's amazing. And what did I do? I'm a moron. I called Nelly at 10 of, thinking he might be a little late getting down. And he's on the bus. And he's giggling, saying we left early. Why didn't he call me? Why didn't Nelly call me? That's my question.
Go ahead.
I don't know what else to say. No, I've never seen a bus leave early. Seriously.
Listen,
ever.
They might have gotten a laugh out of it. It's pretty mean.
I got to be honest with you, it was a little mean. Greg said they're lucky there's two people who's over.
That's a pretty mean prank.
Yeah. Honestly, uncharacteristic of Kyle Seeloff, but bad influences like Jeff Nelson could do it.
Nelly's a bad influence.
He really is. He's a prankster.
He's from this area, but he's got a lot of New York in him from all those years playing for the Yankees.
That is.
I got to get him back somehow.
How do we? That's the question.
I don't know.
Because I made the suggestion what you should do is you should call him and say, "Hey, Nelly, I just got robbed." You could do that.
A possibility.
You could have done that. Now, what can we do in the future, Jeff?
We're gonna
Marlins Radio needs to huddle up here. We might need a break, huddle up, and then execute because there is a rain delay.
Maybe somebody has a good idea out there.
Okay. How much for you both to go on the tarp right now and start sliding?
Yeah. See the White Sox over Mark Burley style?
I did see
on the console. Yeah. Mark Burley style? I think I would not be on the air. I
think Rick Dempsey who played here. I think he was going for that, among other guys. Going a nice slide.
What do you guys think here? Should we break? We've got some programming in hand. Here, we're going to have to go to that. Again, this is very odd because it has a ring. It hasn't.
Yeah.
Right.
You want to hear from the Valley?
Ahmed, let me know when you have Clayton McCullough, or we do also have Thomas White and Bill Mack. Do we want to go to that? Do we want to go to that? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Or do we want to do Clayton?
We might have time for two, the way this is trending.
Okay, let's do Clayton McCullough. Ahmed, let me know when you have that, and we'll throw to it. Jack and I sat down with Clayton McCullough. This was when the Marlins were in the middle of their winning streak. They were at home against the Milwaukee Brewers on Friday night. This was about a week and a half ago at this point, but we did have a great conversation on the first half with Clayton McCullough, some takeaways from when this whole thing started for Miami, this awesome streak of, winning baseball this last month. So here's our conversation with Marlins manager Clayton McCullough, myself, and Jack McMullen. Well, welcome into Side Sessions here. Steven Strom, Jack McMullen, Marlins manager Clayton McCullough with us now. We are recording here on Friday night. First of all, happy 4th of July. I already love the caps that you guys are going to unveil tonight.
Yeah, Steven, Jack, happy 4th to you guys, too. I love the hat. It looks good across baseball. They did a nice job this year.
So you've won 9 of 10. Are you getting treated any differently at home now? A little bit more respect around the house?
No differently. No, I got the same duties at home, whether we win or lose. So a few more smiles.
I was going to ask, when do you feel like you ditched the idea of having your traditional 4th of July? Because working in baseball, that holiday goes by the absolute wayside. It's a work day for you.
It is a work day. That's one of those, the summer holidays are work days for us. I don't remember, and it's hard to remember all of the July 4th, like where you were now and what you did, because you knew you had a game.
Right.
And unless you're in D.C. playing the 11 a.m. 4th of July game, it's a fun day. I mean, it's a
nice. We had an early game yesterday.
Good pastime. Yeah. 4th of July baseball. So kind of the way it was, drawn up.
Can I kick us off real quick? Go ahead. Yeah. If I were to ask you in Jupiter in spring training, okay, Clayton, by July 4th, over or under 1.5 managerial ejections, would you have taken the over or the under?
because the over hit.
The over hit.
The over smashed.
I would have taken the under. Yeah. I think, okay, one. I would have seen, probably one. So I don't know if I would have gone the over, but I did. I would have been wrong there.
So I think it's a great transition because when we asked you a couple days ago, when did you feel like things started to cook a little bit? When did you feel this sort of span start to percolate? And you point to that Tampa series, which you and Xavier Edwards got ejected from that series. But beyond that, like, what about that moment or that series, and that was a 3-city road trip where you really did start to feel like, I don't know if you knew you were going to win 8 in a row at some points and play this well, but what was it about it that you walked away and said, I think we're figuring things out?
It felt like we knew it was going to go in there. One, playing a really good team. Tampa has a good team, a lot of different ways to beat you. They were playing very well. The conditions were going to be difficult. The 3-day games there. And I felt like we played really well on all three. Like there were a couple of close games. We had the one high scoring affair. So I like the play X made, going up the middle, throwing home, getting that out of the plate was remarkable. And, so we had some starters, unfortunately, that, got nicked up and had to come out short. So and then like the guys in the bullpens really kind of rallied around that. And we threw a bullpen game. So it was a lot of guys stepping up and contributing. And then we went to Pittsburgh, and the first one there wasn't great. I was probably like the real clunker. But how we came back after that, the next two, and then to go sweep in Washington felt like, you know what? Okay, we're winning some of these games, especially in Washington on the road that we had lost. You get up and it will come back, or a close one let slip away. So getting that sweep, it felt like okay, like we on the road is a hard thing to do. The Phillies series was close all 4 games. And then to win a series versus the Braves here at home. So for me, it kind of felt during that stretch that we just played so many closely contested games, and we were figuring out how to come up on the right side of those. And at no point during that week at home with the Phillies and Braves, I think any guys, we're playing the Phillies or we're playing the Braves. Like I think our group was just past that. And it was like, what do we need to go do to try to win today's game and go execute at a high level? And it felt like that's kind of been more the mission versus, who we're playing and who you're up against.
For me in Pittsburgh, it felt like that series, there were victories within the victories. And I know game 1, it was that loss, but that was Yuri Perez's season debut. And getting Yuri back, I'm sure you got a billion texts when you got this job. You get to be the guy to manage Yuri Perez in his return from Tommy John surgery. And then Sandy goes 6 scoreless the next day. Those little victories there, having Yuri's presence back and having Sandy and that Sandy mode unlocked in Pittsburgh, what did that do to kind of propel you guys forward, knowing that you have Yuri and Sandy, and then, oh man, look at Cabby. You have a whole bunch of guys that are throwing the ball really well.
Yeah, that's getting Yuri back was a big boost for the organization. Like, everybody, medical staff, how much time Yuri and they spent during this rehab process. It took a lot, to get a talent like that back. Certainly, we were all very excited for him to get back on a major league mound, and understood that it was going to take some time, that this was a lengthy recovery coming back, and then to go back into major league competition, that, there was going to just be a little bit of time before he got into the rhythm of things, which we were, okay with, because that upside is so tantalizing. And as you mentioned, Sandy has been on a good run, throwing the ball so much better. Cabby's been outstanding. Cal has given us good starts. And then you throw, Jansen Junk. So we have the rotation has been performing very well. And you couple that with the bullpen, and I think overall from a pitching side, how much better we've been with throwing strikes and not walking people. And so I think they just kind of all fed off of each other. And it feels like now it's just, a good start, into the next. I think that happens during the course of the season, like, when groups of positional groups kind of feed off of each other and want to, be them. Okay, it's my day now to go do this. So it's been great to see. And it's been a big part of us, playing as well as we have.
Clayton, I want to start as well, just like in the bleachers, and we'll work our way into tonight's series against the Brewers. But one of the big questions going into 25 was, we need to figure out who's going to be here for the future. Do you feel like you guys are getting closer to getting those answers with the guys you have out in the field now?
I think we've seen a number of players with opportunity, really step up and perform. And the major league level, the evaluation will always be going on.
Yep.
And, to see what Kyle Stowers has done, we've seen, come out of the gate as well as he did. And And even more encouraging to see Kyle go through a rough patch. And look, some of it was the hand. He was dealing with a little something. How much that affected him, not sure, but how he was able to bounce back from that and get back to the version we saw early in the year is just very encouraging for a young player to show some resiliency and be able to make adjustments. Dane Myers has been a real pleasant surprise. Both sides of the ball. He coming to the NFL. Otto Lopez as well. Starting the year, him and X deserve a lot of credit for how they just handled the entire, flip-flop the positional change. Not easy, right? Kind of on the fly during the season. X having some history playing second, I'm sure, helps some. And then what Otto just going over there and seamlessly, sliding right in and playing very well at short. And now offensively, he's kind of really hitting his stride. And then, you get the catching core, Augustine, Liam, Nick has been very selfless during this entire thing and has played very well. So I think, yes, we are. And I think, Eric Wagner have talked about a lot. Norbs is coming around, I think, really on both sides of the ball. The numbers might not reflect that with Connor. I think his at-bat quality is getting better.
Absolutely.
He's understanding that the importance of controlling the strike zone and how, what of a difference maker that'll be for him. And on the defensive side, he's really making strides. So I think as a group, they're believing in what their capabilities are and trusting in that. And we're seeing, I think across the board, a lot of our position players in particular take some real steps.
It's probably a little bit more cut and dry with X because, he may be more comfortable defensively. That in return, creates offensive success. With Otto, it might be a different beast. Why do you feel like Otto Lopez has gotten better offensively since the move to short?
I think in some ways, Otto, a guy like him, to be one, he earned it, but provided the chance to play shortstop every day. I think a lot of for someone that takes more of a windy path to now, okay, you're going to be our starting shortstop is, I think, from a big confidence boost. Wow, not only these guys believe in me, as someone that can contribute and play every day, but now I'm going to slide over and play, a premium position on a regular basis. That was a big confidence boost for him, and the offensive ability was there. I mean, these guys always made a lot of contact. He's impacting the ball differently than he has in the past. He's as well tightening up his strike zone. And, now it's okay, I think Otto at least sees that he knows he can play every day in the big leagues. I think he's kind of past that now. And you're not looking over your shoulder anymore, wondering if you're going to be in the lineup the next day or what's going to happen. I know I'm going to be there. And so I can just focus on what I need to do to, be able to be a productive player on both sides.
Who or what do you see when you watch Augustine Ramirez hit?
Let's say Albert Pujols. That air, what a great outcome, right? I think he's, I still can't get over how hard he hits the ball on a regular
basis.
And I could tell, last night, the first at bat, he fouled a couple balls off, but the foul balls were really good misses. He's under the ball.
What is it about him as a hitter with that?
And just the way he stands in there, and he's so strong, and it's really quiet. There's not really a whole lot going on, and then he unleashes, this ferocious swing. That's and the way it comes off, and again, like I said, he missed under a couple, which was a good sign. Not getting out and around and smothering some balls. He elevates it. He gets off the ground as hard as he hits it, and that's why so much extra base potential is there. And who he looks like.
Because you've been around some dudes, and I'm not trying to tell me Shohei or Freddie or Mookie,
the
but
physicality. I don't know, someone like Gary Sanchez, or even he was younger, just that big physical body. Then he didn't have to do a whole lot to generate the bat speed. Big moves. It was just very, it's a pretty simple swing for the guy who hits the ball that hard.
What do you tell him when he grounds out at 120 to shortstop when he comes back to the dugout?
Yeah, good pass. He hit it hard again. And I think that's what at times gets frustrating for him. He hits the ball, so hard, and when it's on the ground, it's generally not a great place to be. But you also know, that's just a millimeter. It's just a fraction of difference in how you attack the angle at which you attacked it or part of the ball you hit, that you're so close to, that being a much different result. But hitting the ball with that type of velocity on a regular basis, it leads to good outcomes.
We were talking to Derek Showman yesterday, and he said he could have 30 homers right now based on the quality of misses or the quality of foul balls that he's hitting. To your point, you're a fraction off of the barrel, and that creates, an 111 mile an hour line out to Harrison Bader yesterday. It's a tough one, but if that's, 3-degree difference, that's into the seats for a multi-homer day. It's just amazing to think this guy could be a 25, 30 homer guy after not playing in the major leagues for the first month. How excited are you for, not just the rest of the 25 season, but 26 and 27 with Agustin Ramirez, knowing that you might have a catcher that's a 30 to 35 homer threat in the big leagues?
Very excited. Very excited for Augustine. I think he's just scratching the surface. It is
A couple guys like that.
We believed in the bat. Yeah. Believed in the bat a lot and it's not just all or nothing. I mean, he's shown the ability to draw some walks. He can continue to improve on that front. He doesn't go on these crazy runs of striking out a whole lot. Most part he does. He can control the zone and make contact at a high rate, especially someone for that type of power. And it's scary for the National League and exciting for us, as you mentioned, that this guy, it's only going to get better because also believe in the person. He's driven to be great. He understands that it is going to be adjustments are going to continue to have to be made, which he's already had to make some. We look back and after Terry got off they started spinning him like crazy. And it was like, let's go soft. Let's keep the ball away from him, change directions, hard in and soft away. And you know what? It's good. Like now you have to make your move back and adjust to what's going on. And he's clipped some hanging breaking balls like he did in San Fran and a couple other occasions. So he's making adjustments. He'll have to continue to do that. And defensively, I feel like he's throwing the ball much better now. Yeah. He's improving behind the plate, which he's very much committed to doing that, as we are going to continue to be on him about the difference in being an everyday frontline catcher compared to being a DH. There's a big difference. And so him being able to pull that off, which we believe he will, is going to be a big difference maker for us.
Going to one of the guys that he works with, obviously the overwhelming majority of credit goes to Cabby, but who else deserves a piece of the pie for the development and frankly the revelation of Edward Cabrera?
Our pitching group, Bill Hiesel, our director of pitching, Daniel Moscas, and a long leash Matt, even in the off season, they, if you've been around and seen Cabby pitch, like the talent, everyone has been enamored with that. And I think they felt like there was really some opportunity to improve his breaking balls. There was like some real opportunity to hopefully drive home the messaging and the importance of just really getting the ball in the box, like throwing strikes and not needing to be edgy and relying on some breaking stuff with maybe some more regularity and knowing that the velocity is there. The changeup is a very special pitch, but to mix in and add to his arsenal and improve his breaking stuff, and you put those all together, feels like it's certainly a different version and different run than he's been on. I think they deserve a lot of credit from getting Cabby to buy into the value and the importance of the strike throwing, and giving up hits is okay. Like, please, like we encourage you to go up there and actually give up hits, because if you're in the strike zone with regularity, we believe that it's going to be much harder than you think for people to go out there and just one after another bang you around. And Cabby, he's at a point in his career, and he was, where it's like it's time to go. Like enough of being what could be, and now it's let's step on it, put your foot down, and go make some adjustments. And he's certainly done that.
I got one more broad question, then I'll do tonight with the Brewers. But for us, the second half of the season, I think when it comes to what does a successful one look like, people talk about record, people talk about certain questions you guys have. What is it? What does a successful rest of the season look like for you as the manager of this team?
For me, the success the rest of this year, the second half for us is like no let up. It is the same things that we've been doing. You have to continue to do those. And as we get deeper into the summer and we get into September, I hope we keep playing well and we keep pushing towards, and just keep winning games and not worry about everything else going on, playing well. And that when you get into September, we have to there's 2 months left in the season. Like, this is how you have to go through a major league season. Is not, you get to September 1 and we got a month left, and we'll start really thinking about getting you guys ready for next year. It's like, no, you're going to come out and continue to prepare and
play meaningful September.
That's right, because that's ultimately what we're trying to do here. Yeah, that's what we want to get to, is that you get into September, man, we have 2 months left. Like, it's not, you don't let off the gas then because you start to see this end of the finish line. It's the exact opposite. Like, you have to be playing your best in the summer and into August and September. That's when the real teams will separate themselves from the pack. So for me, it's like there's just no let up with how we prepare, no let up on the work, that we, continue the way we've been approaching our preparation and playing in this manner, uh, from here on through the end of the season.
Your guys had early mornings for a month and a half in Jupiter. It was impressive to see the level of work that was being put in spring training. Is there a sense of take R&R when you possibly can, or managing these guys to make sure that they're all systems go in September and they're still entirely healthy playing meaningful September baseball?
Great question. That's a topic we talk about a lot. And, is there actually, but I believe there is some benefit of sometimes less is more.
Yeah.
And, to maximize the recovery part of it, maximize your time in the weight room, in the training room, that will lead to a better product. That it's not just all about how many swings to take in a day or how many ground balls. There is certainly time, continuing to improve your skills, but there's also some real benefit to, not running yourself in the ground in that manner. So I think it'll be something as a staff we continue to discuss through, and like, how do we want to approach, the back half of the season, and even in general, how do we want to approach the beginning of next year? Like, are there ways and things we think we can potentially optimize for that we believe will give our, our group a leg up?
You got another broad question, or you want to do tonight? I'm good. Let's start this weekend. The Battle of the Midwest. That's what we labeled it this week. Took 2 out of 3 against the Twins. But this Brewers team, when we were prepping for them, they walk, they run the bases well, they pitch well. They don't slug a ton, but it feels like they just make the routine, which you say all the time. Is this a little bit of a team that you would emulate or try to emulate in the Milwaukee Brewers?
Have always appreciated the way Milwaukee's gone about it. And every time playing against them, you knew they weren't going to beat themselves. Like, they were going to have very athletic players that play defense at a very high rate, solid arms, and an offense that will put the ball in play and put pressure on you when given the chance. And that's a fun style of baseball. And it's a style of baseball that I think here we have, that's kind of what we've been doing here.
You're seeing
the last month. Yes. It feels like that's what we've been doing. Is we've been an uptick in aggression on the bases, and our pitching has been terrific. And offensively, we control the strike zone and try to move the ball forward, and play defense, because at least those types of things, slug is so hard to come by, and we all see it. It helps, right? When you get the 3-run homer, we've gotten some. It does help, but kind of the control in the strike zone from both sides, the pitching and offensively, and playing high quality defense, which gives you so much more margin for error over the course of the season to be able to withstand some times when maybe you aren't swinging it as great, to win some close games. So I've always admired the way Milwaukee has gone about it, and they seem to just year after year continue to come up with players. And I think the last thing with them is they do a very good job of developing their players when they get here. They introduce a lot of young, talented players to the major leagues, but it seems like they're better in year 2, and their guys get better in year 3. And that's a real sign of a strong organization and coaching.
I've got a broad one. If you have another Brewers one. No. Okay. Last one from me. You're a little bit more, I think it's like halfway in 2 games through your first season managing the Miami Marlins. How has this community embraced you to this point?
It's been great. And and for me, with each week and each month, this is home. South Florida has been our home for 10 years, and to now doesn't quite feel like the water hose is turned on as high. I think settling into everything, and now
it's not off.
It's not off. It never will be. But getting out to some different places to go have dinner, or just getting around the greater Miami area a little bit more. Taking my son to a baseball camp at University of Miami. So, and those are things I hope we'll continue to do more in the community. Get out and around more. Everyone has been great, and appreciate their passion for not only the game of baseball, but also wanting this team and this organization to do well. And we know we have a lot of responsibility in that, and we share the same goals and interests that our fans do, as well as wanting to put a winning product on the field for a long time.
And we've seen it as of late. Thank you so much for joining us again, Clayton. This is on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Side Session, Steven Strom, Clayton McCullough, Jack McMullen. We'll talk to you next time.
Bet you weren't expecting to hear from me right now, but that's what we got at the moment. We are currently in a rain delay. I see people walking from the Marlins bullpen to the Marlins dugout on the third base side. No announced start time on this one. Series finale between the Marlins and the Baltimore Orioles. It was initially scheduled for 1:35, but as you can tell, we did not start at 1:35. We will keep you updated as best we can on an updated start time for this series finale between the Marlins and the Baltimore Orioles. But do want to check in on two guys on the farm because there were two Miami Marlins that represented the Fish at the SiriusXM All-Star Futures game yesterday in Atlanta. It is pretty much a minor league all-star game with the top prospects in all of baseball. Joe Mack, the catcher, and Thomas White, the left-handed pitcher, two of the best at their position in all of minor league baseball. And Steven Strom and I had an opportunity to catch up with them last week before they played in that Futures game.
Welcome into Side Sessions here. Steven Strom, Jack McMullen. How about this for our visual audience? We've got Thomas White and Joe Mack on camera here. This will be streaming live on X and YouTube. Our poor audio audience cannot see. These guys are good-looking guys. I mean, let's start here. I mean, these guys are good-looking baseball players, but we are bringing you guys on here for the Futures game. We'll start here with Joe Mack because for Thomas White, this is whatever. This is second time. Joe Mack, how'd you get the call and just your excitement level to participate in this on Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, taking it back to a couple weeks ago in Syracuse, we were just, playing games and we finished the game. We won and came in, and our manager wanted everybody in the locker room and basically gave a quick speech and then told me. So it was really cool and, a lot of cool experience to celebrate it with your teammates and your coaches and all that stuff. And, I'm very, very excited to be selected for this opportunity and, get to go out and perform for the team and, just have a good time. So I'm very, very excited.
Thomas, I'll show you some love here. I know Logan to DFW was probably okay for your family to get to the Futures game last year, but Logan to Atlanta is way easier. How about Boston to Atlanta? How much family are you going to have at the Futures game, if any?
Just my parents, honestly. It's definitely an easier trip, but I think having it be on TV is a lot easier for a lot of people. So, it's cool, like the, hi mom, I'm on TV stuff, but I'll have a ton of people watching from back home, but just my parents are going to be down there. We're going to be hanging out, having a good time. So it's a great area, and we look forward for the weekend.
Now, which one of you guys is going to put in the request to Chipper Jones to catch each other, or Joe to catch Thomas? Is that a Joe question that he's got to ask Chipper Jones, or is that Thomas saying like, "Hey, I would love to throw to Joe Mack in this one"?
I think it's a little bit of both. Yeah, a little bit of both.
I think dream scenario would be get a little start. I get the start and Joe can catch me, so we get the whole warm up together. I think that would be dream scenario. But I don't know if we have that kind of pull.
How often do you guys throw it to each other, at least in spring training this year?
A couple times. I think I've caught you like 3-4 times maybe in spring training.
Yeah,
and then
this year more than last.
Yes, yeah, a little bit. But I didn't catch you in a game, did I?
No, we had a couple bullpens, maybe a live VP, if that. Mm-hmm. Definitely no game action there.
Yeah, so we got to get our game going.
Yeah. So I've thrown to Augustin more than I've thrown to Joe.
That's crazy.
So do top prospects stick together? Are you guys like good friends off the field? Just how would you describe both of your guys' relationships? I know you guys technically haven't played together, but how would you describe kind of your friendship and relationship on the field and off the field?
I'll go first. I know Joe, but I don't know him because obviously we never play together. We don't spend every day together, but I'd say, every time we see each other in the clubhouse, we'll say what's up, catch up, see how each other are doing. But, he's too good of a hitter for me to spend that much time around him right now. So I'm looking forward to getting to know him a little more, but I'd say we're good friends.
I'd say so too. I agree. I mean, every time, we've been in the clubhouse together, we've talked and said hi. And, whenever we've had a chance to work together as battery mates, it kind of furthermores the relationship there. But like you said, I'm looking forward to keep continuing to get to know him and play with him as time goes on. So I'm very excited for that.
Joe Mack, I want to hop into this with you because everybody that we've talked to that has thrown to you in AAA that has come up, and all the coaches around here in Miami are saying this guy is special behind the plate, and the relationship he develops with pitchers is special. The way that he calls a game, receives, blocks, it's special. Why do they use the word special about you? What do you feel like could make you a special catcher?
I feel like, it's kind of different because different teams have different people and, different players of some sorts. And I feel like for me, I'm a guy who, wants the absolute best out of everybody, the pitchers, especially because we're working together and, I'm back there fighting for you. I'm always trying to work for you and going with you. And, if I see something or anything, I'm always open to say it. I don't want to hold anything back, and I want to be super honest with you guys and just, help you be as best as you can. And, the blocking, the receiving, the throwing, that's all the work that, we've done as kids, as, pros, as minor leaguers, as all that stuff. So it's just continuing to refine that, get better at that, and just give it all to the pitchers because we're here for you guys and we want the absolute best for you. So trying to create good relationships on the field and then also off the field as well.
Thomas, we saw you be drafted in 23, so this is technically your second full season of professional ball. A little bit of a newer staff for you. You've jumped up and been promoted a level. Just overall thoughts on 2025, how you're feeling and where you feel like you're headed.
I'm feeling pretty good overall. I think there's a lot of things that I personally think I could do a lot better. The numbers are fine. They're doing pretty good, but in my opinion, I could be a lot better. Just more consistent, less walks, that kind of thing. And I think, getting to Double-A and getting around Jared Eichhoff, pitching coach here, he's been great so far. And then just kind of simplifying and not trying to do too much and realize that I do have a little bit of time to work on some stuff. So I think just honestly just simplifying, and then, the stuff is good and it'll continue to get better the more that I guess stop thinking on the mound as much. And I think, the more I continue to do that and, kind of prove to myself that I really, can make the game as simple as possible. And then I think the stuff will just progressively get a little better as we go. So, I'm just going to keep working my butt off and we'll see how it goes.
Both of you guys are kind of in the driver's seat where it comes to the Marlins' new school approach to pitching. And this year it's been a little bit of an overhaul, I'd say. The director of pitching, Bill Hiesel, we had a great conversation with him, and Bill was saying that he wants cohesion from the top down. So from the big leagues all the way to the complex at Jupiter and the Dominican Summer League. And Thomas, you literally just got done with a pitch design session. I'm sure it's a carbon copy of what the big league pitchers are doing right now. But Joe, I'm curious from a catching perspective, what has your experience been like with the kind of new overhauled approach to pitching within the Marlins organization? Because you saw the old version of it over the last few years, and you're seeing the new and improved version of it right now.
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely seen a lot of good positive outcomes, like with the pitch designs, like the pitching coaches being out there for them all the time, working with them, the analysts being out there for TrackMan and, all that stuff with everything. I think it's a very good thing because, the guys go out there, try different grips, try different things, and always trying to improve on things. If they do very well, they'll look at it and say, okay, great, let's improve on it, and vice versa. If something goes wrong, then they're going to go, okay, that's okay. Let's look at it and improve on it. And I feel like it's been a big help for a lot of the pitchers because they've been able to kind of work with kind of what they want to do. And, the pitching coaches are kind of like pushing, different grips, different things, and allowing the players to kind of feel what's best for them and work what's best for them. So, I love it. I think that it's great. We do live stuff in the field, and on the mound. So it's facing batters and all that stuff. So it's good preparation, and it's always like challenging behind the work that we're doing. It's not like easy. It's not like go out there and throw a couple pitches and you're good. No, it's like, all right, let's focus on this, work on this, and really hammer this so we can be good in the games. So I think it's a very positive thing. And I like where it's heading and what's going on. So yeah.
To piggyback on what Jack said, Thomas, you just got back from a pitch design. We're recording here on a Wednesday afternoon. How have you benefited from it? Just your overall thoughts on what that's been like this year for you?
Yeah, first of all, I think it's evolved even from spring training, to where, like, maybe if you're not feeling as good, you can take it a little easier, dial the intent back a little bit. But if you're feeling good and you want to have like some competitive ABs in the middle of a week, you really can do that, and you can kind of go at hitters and do counts and do all that kind of stuff. And hitters will do the same too. Like, you can have some real intent behind what you're doing. But if you want to have, like today, for me, it was just, we were working on a cue to hopefully get some more carry back on my fastball, which has been dipping a little bit. And, it was more of a chill, just kind of working on stuff and seeing how it goes and, checking the TrackMan and whatnot. And then halfway through, whatever we were working on wasn't quite doing what we thought it would. So we just banged it, and we went straight back into like what my normal PD is just some more competitive type stuff. And the carry improved just from doing that. So it's just experimenting and working, and obviously you get hitter comments in there too. It's one thing for somebody like Joe. Like, Joe can tell me if it's carrying or not, but at the end of the day, we're trying to get hitters out. So if they're not seeing the ball well, then I must be doing something right, and if they're seeing the ball really well, I must be doing something wrong. So it's been great in that respect.
Joe, have you been able to be a hitter for one of these pitch design sessions, or are you always catching?
I have. No, I've definitely been both. I've been a part of both. Both opportunities are great because not only as a catcher, am I working with the pitcher, talking about what pitches look like, what I saw, kind of like release points, how the body is, all that stuff. But also as a catcher, as a hitter, being able to see those things and, let pitchers know, hey, like, this is easy to see, or, this pitch is a really good pitch. This pitch moves a lot, or something like that. So it benefits everybody, to the point where everybody's working with each other to try and make everybody better.
Got you. We're chatting with Joe Mack and Thomas White, these two repping the Marlins in the Futures game. And Thomas, I had one question for you, but then I checked the updated roster on the Futures game, and I totally have to deviate. I was going to ask you what it's like not being the biggest dude in the rotation, because you had a 6'7" Painter that was on the roster. You had a 6'6" Jackson Wiggins. You had a 6'6" Travis Sikora. But now I think all those guys are out, maybe except Wiggins. Painter's not throwing in it, and Sikora's not throwing in it. So now I got to pivot. Is there a certain guy that you're excited to chop it up with in terms of, top prospects around Major League Baseball? Hey, I really like what this pitching prospect does. Look forward to talking with him in Atlanta.
Honestly, it'll be exciting to see a bunch of people. It'll be good to see Joe again, obviously. And then I'd like to meet Noah Schultz. I never met him before. And he was there last year. I just didn't get the chance to kind of go up to him and see, say what's up. I think he's going, right?
Yeah.
So I hope I get the chance to run into him and maybe pick his brain a little bit and, see what he's up to. And, why not just kind of get to know some of the other guys on the other team too. So, if I ever get that chance to run into him, it'd be kind of cool to chop it up with him.
Thomas and Noah, probably the two best lefty pitching prospects in Major League Baseball.
So whoever wants to go on this, you could take it first. But I'm curious, and I think fans are too. Everyone has followed you guys, especially these last couple of months. You guys have obviously put up great numbers. You guys have been promoted. What were the conversations like with whether it was Peter or any of the higher ups? What was kind of the message to you guys for 2025 as far as expectations go, and again, where you feel like maybe you should be at the end of the year?
I'll let Joe go first on that one. I got to think of mine.
Being put on the spot. No, I'm kidding. I feel like when I was in big league spring training camp, they kind of gave me a pretty good idea, of what they wanted and expectations of, kind of what they were looking for. Definitely in continuing to improve off left-handed pitchers, working on spin, working on recognizing things, good intent with being up the field, all that stuff. And then, with catching, continue to work on my blocking, continue to keep the ball in front of me, square it up, and put myself in good positions to be an athlete behind the plate. And, honestly, I don't really look too far ahead of, this upcoming year. The remaining parts of this
Sure.
year. So, honestly, I'm just taking it one day at a time, staying here, being where my feet are, and just going through it every single day. So, I don't really have any expectations. There's nothing's guaranteed. So, you just go in and grind through it every single day.
Yeah, I mean, for me, Joe kind of said it best. I didn't really start out where I thought I would. Going back to Beloit, and then the message there was to just go dominate hitters, go dominate, keep working on what we were working on in spring training, and continuing to improve the carry on the fastball, and just landing the new gyro slider for more strikes and throwing it a little harder, and then getting used to my newer changeup as well. So just kind of getting used to that stuff and being where my feet are. Like Joe said, I just learned that, really try and be where my feet are, not try to look too far ahead, and focus on what I'm doing now. And all the rest of that stuff will come. And I feel like that little mindset change for me helped a lot. And just enjoying my time in Beloit and going out there each week, and B, once I got here, now it's like, okay, you're one step closer, but you gotta be here first before you're in Jacksonville and before you're in Miami.
Joe, Thomas, last one from me. You guys are going to go play in a major league ballpark, and you haven't done it obviously in a regular season in pro ball, but have you guys had experience there, whether it be All-American games or showcases? Joe, let's start with you. Early round pick out of high school, I would assume it was some sort of like All-American or maybe combine type thing that you participated in. What kind of experience do you have playing in a major league ballpark?
Yeah, I mean, I have actually a couple games under my belt in a big league ballpark. I remember playing at the Diamondbacks for it was an event for the fall league. We were able to play at the Diamondback Stadium, which is pretty cool. I didn't play a game there, but I actually played at the Braves Stadium. We did it was like a pre-workout, like a workout for high schoolers and stuff. So I was able to actually be there, take some ABs, and catch a live and play a little third and left field. So it's pretty cool. I have some decent experience with that, and then also the All-Star game as well. So cool stuff.
Thomas, have you ever looked up and seen a third deck when you're pitching?
Yeah, the only time was last year. So last year in Texas, which the stadium is enormous.
Beautiful stadium, by the way.
Great stadium. Yeah, it's awesome, especially for a pitcher. I pitched in Fenway twice, but, everything's right on top of you there. That place is, obviously my favorite being from Boston. But I pitched in the Rays place before for PG National. I've been to Atlanta a couple of times for the WWBA, so I've seen a couple of Braves games there, but I've never been on the field. So, that's obviously one of the best looking stadiums in the country. So I'm super pumped to get there and see what it's like to look all the way up for people.
Last one for me, guys, if I may. You guys are seeing what the organization is doing at this level. The Marlins have won as of right now 11 straight on the road. They've had a really nice year. We've seen what's going on in AAA, AA, and throughout. Just organizationally, what fires the both of you up the most about being part of this, representing the Marlins in the future All-Star game, but all in all, just what Peter Bendix and the entire crew is striving to do here in 2025 and beyond?
For me, obviously I think it's more about like opportunities. They're wanting, the minor leaguers and the people that they get, to be the people that they have in the big leagues. And, they are doing everything they can, incorporating pitch designs, incorporating traject, incorporating different training, like things, regimens for us to, get better and allow us to be those pieces to the puzzle. And, when I think about that, it's pretty cool because there's a lot of opportunity and, we have a good organization to do it with. And, they always need some help in the big leagues and they've been doing good, which is great. But, it's still about the opportunity and, there's chances to come. So just, like Thomas said, like I said, just being where our feet are and not worrying about that. And, knowing that will come if the time is right and when the time is right.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think it's really cool to kind of like Joe said, where they want us to be that next kind of group of players. Like I don't think the guys that they see in the big leagues in the next couple of years are going to go anywhere. But it's really cool to kind of see, the guys that we've come up with together starting to take that big league form. Like you can see like Nigel Belgrave's here shoving, Josh Eknes is here shoving, Jesse Bergen, like obviously Joe's hitting really well in AAA. Robbie Snelling just joined him up there, but it's really cool to kind of see there's this like kind of group of guys who hopefully should be there in the next couple of years that's starting to form and get better and mature as we go. And I think that's a really cool experience that, not that many orgs get to have because, some orgs develop guys to trade them for the All-Stars, right? So I think that's one of the coolest parts, and I look forward to hopefully being a part of that for the next couple of years.
Boys, I got one more. I'm sorry. And you can just give me 2 words. You need to give me a guy in AAA and in AA that's someone we're not talking about. You had mentioned some names, but I want you to give me a name that we're not talking enough about, that is going under the radar, and is having a really good season that you're excited to see in the future.
There's so many names for me. I feel like I could name a couple.
Got to name one, Thomas. Got to name one.
Yeah, I need a minute.
I can name one on the AA team right now, I feel like.
All right, give me a AA and then give me a triple.
Josh Zamora. I've always been adamant about him. I always love the way that he plays, like how he just is such a gritty guy and just is always just, doing his best. So I think it's really cool. And then I would say probably Troy Johnston. I mean, he's always been good, but like this guy's just been on a tear. He's been just unbelievable, like consistently throughout his whole entire career. So I feel like for him, Troy Johnston should be a name you guys talk about a lot more.
Good shouts. Thomas?
Okay, I'm going to go AA pitcher and then AA hitter.
Perfect.
So I'm actually going to give you 2 names. And I was going to say Troy Johnston for AAA too. Obviously, I don't have that much. I don't know how everybody is doing up there because I'm obviously Joe's there and I'm not. But like I said before, Jesse Bergen, who is absolutely shoving this year, doing great, comes in at big spots for us and closes it down all the time. I'm actually going to name one more pitcher because I have to. Alex Williams has been great this year for us as well. And then Johnny Olmstead as a hitter. He hits the ball 1,000 miles an hour, and he's a great defender at short. So, there's so many guys I can name here. I couldn't just pick one, but I could go down half our roster and name a bunch of guys.
Very good. Very good. Fellas, congratulations again. Thomas White going to his second future All-Star game and Joe Mack breaking it in for number 1. So excited to watch you guys on Saturday in Atlanta at 4 p.m. Make sure to check it out. This has been Side Sessions. Thomas White, Joe Mack, thank you very much. I'm Steven Strom, Jack McMullen. We'll talk to you next time here on Side Sessions. Hey, folks, what's going on? Steven Strom, Marlins on Deck, Fox Sports 940 Miami. Hello and greetings from Baltimore, Maryland. Camden Yards is our location for the final game of this series rubber match. Baltimore took game 1 on Friday night. Marlins responded and shut them out in game 2, 6-0. Craig Minervini and Jack McMullen have your call officially at 3:10. Yuri Perez will go opposite Brandon Young as the Marlins look to win another series here on the road and continue this stretch of baseball that they have been playing for the past month. Again, we're going to play here at 3:10. It was originally supposed to be a 1:35 first pitch. Good news, Tarp is coming off the field, and it looks like we are going to play some baseball at 3:10. In the meantime, we will throw to an interview that we did with Liam Hicks, Rule 5 pick, and Jack McMullen, surprise of the season. Here is that conversation on Hicks's journey and what he's had to overcome here in the Miami Marlins organization. Welcome into Side Sessions here. Steven Strom, Jack McMullen. We are joined here by Liam Hicksy Hicks. I love that everyone on this team has some sort of a shorter nickname, and I can call you Hicksy, right?
Of course, yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us. We are live from Washington, D.C. here at Nationals Park. It's the third leg on this trip. I know everyone is exhausted, so we really appreciate you joining us today. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
You do any sightseeing yesterday on our off day on Thursday?
Yeah, I went to the Pentagon with some of the guys.
The boys?
Yeah, they set up a little thing for the team. So probably like 15 guys. So it was cool. It was a good time.
How long were you there for?
I think it was like an hour total. Yeah.
Took the metro into D.C. I passed the Canadian embassy. You didn't want to say hey to your
I
friends?
saw
or
that
anything?
too.
I didn't. No. I'm good on that.
So you went to the Pentagon. We're on this third leg of this trip, and I think we want to get you on here because we're looking at your numbers, and we're like, people aren't talking about Liam Hicks enough. You're leading the NL in rookie RBIs. You were a Rule 5 pick from Detroit, from the Marlins. You're on this team in spring training, fighting for a spot. You end up making it, and here you are right now. I mean, what has the journey been like thus far? We're almost halfway through the year, which is actually crazy to think.
Yeah, it's been crazy. I mean, I think, at the start it was definitely a little bit of a whirlwind, but players, teammates, staff have been super supportive, really good. So as I've kind of got along in the season, gotten a little more comfortable, can kind of be myself a little bit more, and I think that's really helping me.
Let's start with how you got here. Did you know what the Rule 5 draft was? I'm sure you knew what it was, but did you understand the process of how that worked? Did you think that this was at all a possibility that you were going to be somewhere else?
I knew what it was because I had a teammate the year before, Justin Slayton, got picked by the Red Sox.
Awesome, by the way.
So
Can close games.
Exactly, yeah, really good pitcher. So I knew what it was, and I'm also into baseball, so I know that kind of stuff. But no, I knew being a catcher, it was pretty unlikely that I know a catcher hasn't been taken a long time, and then also only having played in AA, I knew that was kind of might not make it a possibility. So I really wasn't going in thinking about it or anything, but I had I had a former manager reach out the night before and say hey, I've been hearing from some teams, just asking about you, hope things go well. So then I was like, oh, wow, maybe this will be possible. I don't know. I didn't want to get my hopes up at all. So I was just let me not think about it. And, yeah.
What were the emotions like when you got selected in the Rule 5 draft? Because when that happens, you know that you kind of control your own destiny to become a Major League Baseball player, which is really cool. And obviously, there's a lot externally that needs to happen. You were in Detroit. Jake Rogers needs to get hurt, right? Dylan Dingler needs to get hurt. Somebody like that. They've got prospects, right? You have injuries in front of you. You have guys that are underperforming, maybe get traded. That has to happen for you to get to the major leagues with that organization. Then all of a sudden, you're thrusted into this situation where it's like, hey, if I hit in spring training, I'm going to debut in the first week of next year. That had to be really hard to wrap your head around.
Yeah, I'd say so. I really didn't try and think too far ahead. Yeah. Really focused on just kind of taking it day by day. But it definitely gave me a lot of motivation in the off season. Obviously, I'm going to work hard no matter what. I was going into hopefully breaking camp with AAA with Toledo. But
you and Yuri just skipping AAA. You and Yuri Perez.
But yeah, that gave me definitely a little bit more motivation. Okay, we got to lock in here, come into spring training prepared, and it gave me a good opportunity to get down to Jupiter really early and start working and try not to get ahead of myself, but also put in the work and show that I'm committed to doing this and being ready.
And you were here, right, with Joe? I mean, what month is this for you? I mean, you've been playing for the last almost 10 months, it feels like. What did your January look like with Joe?
Yeah, so I was training before I even had got picked by the Marlins or whatever, when I was still with Detroit, I was training in Cressy, which is in Palm Beach Gardens. So literally 10 minutes from the Jupiter complex. So it worked out really well that once I got picked, I immediately was okay, let me message Joe. Sure. He said he was going to come down in January. So yeah, I'd go to Cressy in the mornings. Usually I was living in Port St. Lucie. So I'd get up at 5:36, get to Cressy at 8:30, try and beat the traffic because it was pretty brutal, and then work out there, do my hitting there, and then go eat lunch, then meet Joe at noon, and then we'd do an hour session, just all catching.
So I'm so happy you brought up the Rule 5-2 and being in AA, because usually it's all right, here's your off season, here's what you need to do to be in AAA. You're going from AA to the majors. What was sort of the everyday, what am I trying to make sure when I get to the big leagues I can do? Because again, it's not like you have a measuring stick, you're going from AA to the show.
Yeah, I mean, just as far as on the catching side, sure. Joe obviously was with the Reds in the big leagues the last few years. So I was like, I'm going to put my full trust into him, let him tell me whatever, because I know that's kind of part of my game that I really needed to improve on. So I was kind of like, do whatever you want with me, man. Like, tell me what I need to do. I'm all ears.
What were the first couple of things, like pop time? What like, get specific with us?
I'd say it was all receiving to start. We really like hammered out receiving. I had been with the Rangers. They had taught a specific way to catch that I was kind of used to. Then went to the Tigers. They really didn't have much instruction just because it was midway through the season. I didn't really like get into like the nitty gritty stuff with them as far as like what they teach. But then Joe, we kind of just scrapped some of the stuff that I had been doing, kind of fell into some bad habits just throughout a whole season. You're just trying to get through every day.
And what were some of those bad habits?
Just like glove load, like some niche things like
go nerdy on us, please. We're doing a side session.
Yeah. So the glove load was like the big thing. I was loading very out front, thumb to the ground, as you'd say. And I'd kind of turn my hand. We have a different name for it, but I just kind of turn the thumb up.
Okay.
Kind of like you see Trevino does it. He's really good at it. Obviously, he has a ton of success with it. But so I was doing that, but not doing it very effectively. So we kind of scrapped that. Started from the started loading a little bit deeper, a little bit more of like a coil, kind of like trying to stay loaded, wait on the pitch longer.
Love it.
And Joe immediately like showed me some like heat maps of like my season from before, and it was like completely blue on this inside corner to righties. Like all this whole side is blue. So we really hammered that like all off season, just trying to get around the ball. Yeah. So it was pretty cool, pretty eye opening. He immediately was like sending me videos of some of the best receivers in the game.
Pat Bailey.
Yeah, Pat Bailey, some of the best throwers in the game, like Real Muto, Bailey too as well. He'd be sending me stuff at like midnight. I'd wake up and I'd have like 5 messages of like a long like PowerPoint that he had made. So I mean, he puts in a ton of work, and like it was really cool, really eye opening for me.
So when you say inside of righties was blue, that means that you were receiving and you were getting a lot of pitches on the black called balls instead of strikes, right? Because you were deficient at pulling those back into the strike zone. And I want you to kind of go into framing, because it's something that's a little abstract to the typical baseball fan, right? Because typically those people will think, oh, catchers grab any pitch on the corner and just drag it right back into the strike zone. That's not the art form, if I'm not mistaken.
No, definitely not. I think the main thing you could say is you're just trying to beat the ball to the spot. Like you're trying to keep the strike a strike. Like they're throwing a breaking ball that's going to move 10 inches down at 85 miles an hour. If you're starting above it, you're not going to be able to keep that in the strike zone without making it look like you're just dragging it back. So you're really just trying to start below the ball and stop it like as fast as possible before it becomes a ball. Gotcha. Or it becomes a ball to the ump. I'd say the main thing is just keeping the strikes. Yeah, exactly.
So if you let's say CB Buckner is behind the plate, is Joe giving you his history on where he calls strikes and balls? Does it go that detail or no?
No, it wouldn't go into that at all. Our org is like all pitcher strength.
Sure.
So you're not worrying too much about the umpire at all. You're not letting their calls affect the way you're going to catch the game. They call a strike a ball. It can't affect your game. You got to be on to the next one. There's plenty of pitches that you get in the game, the chances you're going to get. So we're all focused on the pitcher-catcher relationship. That's the main focus.
Can I pivot to offense?
Absolutely, yeah. And then we'll pivot to the timeline of growing up in Canada.
Perfect. Offensively, it's been really fun to watch this happen, man, because the first week you didn't play opening day, you get in the lineup, you got an offer attached to you. And I know the hardest one to get in Major League Baseball is the first one. And it took you a couple of days, but once you got it, dude, it has been so much fun to watch you settle in. And the big number that jumps out about Liam Hicks, right? He's leading all NL rookies and RBIs right now. Situational baseball has been a joy to watch. You don't punch out. Obviously, the Marlins loved that you didn't punch out. But you hit a homer at 109 off the bat against the Dodgers, right? Like, had you done that before, man? I mean, it really feels like you're growing into your own as a Major League Baseball hitter.
Well, I appreciate that. And yeah, no, I don't think I had done that before. But yeah, that's kind of where the coaching staff has kind of pushed me.
Yeah.
Haven't in the past history, like haven't struck out at like a high clip. So made a lot of contact in the past. So they're kind of just pushing, like, be selective. If you swing, you're going to put it in play.
Yeah.
Try and do a little more damage. Like, who cares if you swing and miss? If you're trying to do a little more damage, you're going to be 0-1, 1-2, whatever the count is, and you're still going to have another chance to put the ball in play later.
Can I ask you, was there a hump to get over with that? Like, coaches reminding you, hey, you're a guy that never punched out in the minor leagues. The major leagues are different, right? And you're seeing the best pitchers on the planet. Did you have any like internal hurdle that you needed to clear saying, well, these guys are a lot better than anybody I've ever seen. Maybe I strike out more up here? Because clearly you aren't.
It's tough to say, but I think it's like a daily hurdle. Like, in my mind, I don't want to punch out.
Right.
But that's not a good mindset to go into when you're 0-0.
Right.
Just trying to get a hit. You can't go up there trying not to punch out.
Right.
So that's like a daily thing that I talk with them. Like, when I get in these advantage counts, like look for a certain pitch,
let it
eat if you think it's that pitch. But there's still times where, I'm a little apprehensive, I'll get in my own head, like take it, and then come back to talk to the hitting coaches. I'm like, why did I do that? So there's still like an ongoing battle trying to learn that.
Yeah.
And like a lot of training. Like, you can't just decide one day, I'm going to swing harder. You need to train it. You need to get comfortable, because you go in there and you swing harder, you're not just going to make contact every time. Like, you're not going to put the ball on the barrel just because you're swinging harder. So I think that was kind of a big thing. Training, like trying to do the damage, trying to seek out these opportunities where you can try and do that. But yeah, it's an ongoing thing. Like, still trying to do it every day. You get that feeling for like a week and it goes really well, and then you lose it and you got to fight to get it back. It's just something every baseball player goes through.
Curiously, and whether it was when Clayton told you made the team, your first home run, an interaction with a player, what was your pinch me moment in the show?
Honestly, I'd say the first hit was like the big one. I honestly didn't really feel like a major leaguer until I got that first hit. It kind of like, it really allowed me to like breathe and be like, okay, I've made it. Like, I'm good. I can do this. Even if it was just one hit, like, I'm like, okay. Cause I don't know why. It was like playing in the game wasn't enough. Once I got the first hit, that was good. And then also like interacting with players, obviously as a catcher, like everyone comes up to bat. Like,
like you say, what's up, Shohei?
Exactly. Like, there's just like little things like that. Like, just seeing Harper, Freeman, like say hi to you, like
give you a little bat on the.
Yeah, exactly. So that stuff's pretty cool. Stuff you remember, but then you're trying to get them out right away.
Quiz time, and I don't know what the right answers are. Who'd you get your first hit against?
Clay Holmes.
Clay, dude, that's an awesome one.
Yeah, it's solid.
Really first good homer was in Philly, right? Who was that against?
Romano.
Come on, man. Clay Holmes and Romano.
And it should have been in Atlanta, your home run. That would have been that would have been a home run in, I think, 28 of 30 ballparks, if I'm not mistaken. Or 29, I think it was.
Yeah, that would have been cool, but it's all right.
Okay. You got it against a countryman in Romano. That's great. I did. Fellow Canadian.
Good shout there. Good shout.
Big.
Yeah.
We asked for 15 minutes. Can we keep you for like another 3-4 minutes? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to real quick go to the timeline. All righty, folks, welcome back here. About 2:55 in Baltimore. We will play baseball at 3:10. Yuri Perez will go opposite Brandon Young. Thank you very much, Ahmed, back in the studio, holding things down, hanging with us. We came on here at 1 o'clock. Marlins on deck, Fox Sports 940 Miami. And Ahmed, if you need, we can do a station ID. Just let me know in my ear. But I'll set the scene here again. The Marlins' final game before the All-Star break and the final game of this 7-game road trip. Miami split in Cincinnati, won the first 2 against the Redlegs. Cincinnati responded, beat the Marlins in the last 2. A split. Marlins then came to Baltimore. They dropped game 1 on Friday night. Game 2 on Saturday with a absolutely sensational performance from Jansen Junk. Led him to 7 shutout innings Xavier Edwards hit his first home run in over 494 ABs, and the Marlins ended up winning yesterday 6-0. So here we are. Again, we were supposed to start at 1:35. 3:10 first pitch. We will break. We'll get our Expo question, Steve's guarantee, and then I'll pass the baton to Jack McMullen and Craig Minervini. We're back in 2 minutes on the Marlins Radio Network.
Opportunity for D. Hill.
Runners lead. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Ground ball through the hole. Base hit. Myers rounding third. He's going to get the green light. Here's the throw to the plate. It's cut off. Myers scores. Now in a rundown is Stowers. The Marlins do have the lead, but Stowers is tagged out. We'll take off the corner.
2-1 pitch. Sanchez with a line shot. That is through and a base hit. That's going to plate another run. Pinch hit RBI single for Jesus Sanchez. Welcome to the contest, and a happy Saturday to you, Jesus. 2-0 Fish in the top of the 8th.
Out, but the ball came free, so
it was
obviously safe.
0-1 pitch is a bouncing ball to the forehand of the shortstop Henderson. He's got it sliding. He pops up, and he does not have a throw to first. He's got a throw to home, and Stowers broke for the plate. He is in with a feet-first slide. Hill pushes to second on that. Kyle Stowers out of nowhere took an extra 90 feet to give the Fish a 3-0 lead.
He was able to score.
First pitch to Xavier Edwards. That one hit high in the air, out to right center field and deep. Laureano back at the track, at the wall, and it's gone. He finally did it. The last qualified hitter without a homer. He's doing his bicep curls as he rounds third base. Homer number 1 on the year. And the Fish have blown it open in the 9th. 6-0. All 4 runs coming with 2 men gone in the inning.
Yeah, after I hit that double, I thought maybe it'd get out, but not enough. And then I got to second. I was talking to Henderson on their side, and I was saying, maybe I'm just not meant to hit one. Because I've come close now. It feels like 3-4 times in the last week or so, So, got a good pitch to hit. Was ready for it on time and cut out in front. Good swing, and glad it went over.
.com/Babcock.
Number 1 on your car radio preset and the new and improved iHeartRadio app. WINCA in Miami, WMIB FM HD2 Fort Lauderdale. Free never sounded so good.
Riled up and ready here on a Sunday afternoon. It's the Orioles. It's the Marlins. It's a rubber match here at Camden Yards. I'm Steven Strom, host of the program here. Marlins on deck. Ahmed Jordan back in the studio holding things down. Fox Sports 940 Miami. Craig Minervini, Jack McMullen. Those two have your call at 3:10 today. Last game before the All-Star break, we got a programming note for you. We've been doing the pregame show, streaming it on StreamYard and live on YouTube. It has been an awesome hit. We've loved being able to interact with all you listeners, and we would not be here without you guys. We appreciate everything that you do. We have so much fun up here, but don't think that we don't work our tails off to try to give you every ounce of information, every ounce of entertainment, and every ounce of Marlins baseball to the highest of our capacity and our energy level. We thank you again, and we will now do a post-game show moving forward on Friday night that is going to be on StreamYard as well. Jack McMullen will handle that in the open. I'll come on as usual for that segment 5. Steve's takeaways, whatever brand you want to call it. But we'll get sound from the manager, we'll get sound from the players, and we will have an awesome time together. We can react, ask questions, whatever it may be. I'd love more interaction on the show as far as comments are concerned. Takes, questions, whatever you want. I just want you guys to feel involved because I am speaking to you, and I do this for you. We do this for you guys. We have so much fun, and we have so much fun interacting with you guys, not only here on StreamYard, but across all social media. Let's get to our Expo question today at Marlins Radio. Before they were called the Baltimore Orioles, they were called who? Make sure to vote at Marlins Radio. Ahmed, it is time for the final Steve's guarantee of the first half.
Batter up. Batter up.
Let's play some ball.
First pitch is moments away. Time now for Steve's Guarantees.
Well, if the Marlins want to win this game, they got to get a good start from Yuri Perez. And how do they get a good start from Yuri Perez? He's got to walk less than 2 guys today. That's been the key for Yuri. No walks on Tuesday in Cincinnati. He had 1 walk against the Twins in his previous to last start. Baltimore, 28th in the league in team walks.
cut down on the walks, the Marlins will win this game. Folks, I hope you got the itch for first pitch because when we come back, Jack McMullen paints a picture. Craig Minervini, he's ready to rock. Starting lineups in first pitch is right around the corner. Thanks for tuning in to the Marlins On Deck pregame show. I'm Steven Strom. Let's flip the M together, Miami. Marlins baseball is next. We will talk to you next time on Marlins On Deck on Friday night. This is the Marlins Radio Network.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.